Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you that is for a no contact situation where somebody has learned their lesson. And it's, that old adage, I don't know, I guess maybe it's a little bit more complicated than that. This is somebody who really had to take some time to themselves and actually challenge themselves to do some introspection and have a little bit of a reality check because they had a lesson to learn concerning you. And I mean, the whole you don't know what you've got till it's gone. I do feel like that applies, but it's deeper than that. They realized how much you mean to them and also what they want going forward because we have the ring card as well. So they want to commit to you. And I feel like this would shock you because I do think you're no contact right now, and you may be questioning whether or not you'd actually even see this person again. But let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, William. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Nathaniel. What's going on? If you would like a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is in the description box below. It's wickedonestarot@gmail.com. There's no ads, and you can watch them a million times if you want. And I also recently launched memberships, so go ahead and check those out. That's in the description box as well. We're going to start with the Marigold Tarot and see what else we can find out about this lesson that has been learned. King of Wands and the Four of Cups in the reverse. Five of Swords in the reverse. I think we're dealing with a person who's quite comfortable with detaching themselves from people or situations. This is somebody who's very bold or has a very memorable personality. This King of Wands does not have to be a man. Remember, this is not gender, but rather energy that I'm reading. The King of Wands is somebody that I do think inspires a lot of curiosity, or people are captivated by this person rather easily because they do kind of, it's like they blaze their own path, right? Fire, pun intended. And yet, there's something about this person that all at once draws you in and makes you want to run away from them. It's probably that unattainable element, right? The Five of Swords is in the reverse. So this is somebody who is interested in making amends with you. But I think you have started to view this King of Wands as somebody who is maybe just like a little bit too much work. Or maybe there's just no way for you to get on the same page. Nice. Good luck, Nathaniel. Hello, Chris. How's it going? That's not what we're talking about here, so let's focus. I'm going to remove that. If you would like to try to communicate again and like focus on the things that we're actually doing, that's cool. Hey, Holy Yoga. Hey, Rachel. How are we doing? All right. Two of Cups. Page of Cups in the reverse and the King of Cups in the reverse. Well, yeah, there's love. I love this person, but it feels to me like they're emotionally unavailable, or if they make an offer, it's not good enough, or I can't rely on it. This is not somebody who excels in expressing themselves. They may, hey, they might know how to write poetry. They might know how to be a phenomenal musician. But when it comes to talking about how you make them feel, that's like a foreign language to them. This is not something that they were taught when they were younger, or not something that they ever really got good at. And this made things really difficult between the two of you. I do think that they love you. They just, love languages, yeah, they need to work on that a little bit. Hi, Tracy. How are you doing? Nice. What else? Lovers in the reverse and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, this King of Wands is somebody who has maybe a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, or, a short attention span. They're not one to get caught up in a relationship. Again, does not need to be a man, but this is somebody who declines to pursue things further, right? Some may view them as the one that got away, but I feel like most of them view them as the one that I knew I would never have, right? Like, oh, hey, thanks for hanging out with me for a couple of weeks. That was fun, but like, I knew it wouldn't last. But they're still seen as charming. King of Swords in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords in the reverse. There's something about your energy that is very relaxing and comforting and freeing all at the same time. The King of Wands has perhaps not quite admitted to themselves that they love you, or they are, working on accepting that, because for them, it's always been relatively like second nature to avoid those feelings and focus on like surface level, right? You activated them or like unlocked their heart. Ooh, so cheesy. I'm gonna go get some chips so I can have some chips and cheese. Yeah, you did something to this person who was just a little bit unattainable or unreachable. Tower in the reverse, Three of Rings, or Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Uh-oh. See, the thing is, I love you, but none of my friends or family think I should be with someone like you. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the part in the instructions when I was born that said that I had to live my life for other people. Let me just go back and check that real quick. This person is emotionally unavailable for a few reasons, but I feel one of the more notable ones is I care too much about how everybody else thinks about me. Now, look, I'm not going to lie. There are some societal expectations or, etiquette or parameters that are useful. Okay. I'm not arguing that you should just do whenever you want, whenever you want. But this is somebody who's specifically saying, I can't be with somebody like you because everyone would judge me. Cool. I'm already judging you. That's not how love works. Like, are you new at this? Have you not seen The Notebook? Do you not watch movies in general? Because like it's the oldest trope in romantic comedy ever, or like dramas. I'm disappointed in this person. Like, do some research. I can't love you. Oh, that says a lot about you considering you do. Yeah. It's like they tripped and fell into a vat of love for you, and that's the only way they can explain it, because they did so well not falling in love with other people, specifically people that would have been accepted, right, by this judgy family or group of friends. But no, they had to go and fall in love with you. Hello, Lemonade. How's it going? Matt, you've never seen The Notebook? Come on. Come on. That's so good. Yeah, it is a little cheesy. So I'm going to go ahead and say that whoever is related to this King of Wands, or I don't know, maybe they're like besties, they really like looking for dirt. They're like, ooh, who you like dating now? Or who are you considering marrying now? No, they wouldn't say that because this person hasn't considered getting married in the past. But I do feel like if they started hanging out with somebody, there's a vigilant family member who's like, hold on, let me see if they can be trusted. So maybe King of Wands is part of a wealthy or well-known family. Yeah. I'm getting somebody who has had their life made a little bit easier, or it's been very controlled by people. Their family tells them what is expected of them, but this King of Wands does deviate from that plan because we do have the black sheep. So I can't be in love with someone like you because my family doesn't approve, but also they don't approve of like 80% of the things that I do. What? So like, why does it matter? Asking for a friend. Like, you already rebel against all these things, King of Wands. Like, what's your deal? Are we using excuses? Because this is saying, and it's, spirit that's calling you out here, that you're scared. I don't know. It looks like you're quite used to defying norms. It looks like you're quite used to going against what people want you to do. But emotions, I think that's the real reason. Don't hate me. I'm just trying to be honest with you. And I feel like you've already learned this lesson because it says lesson learned. You had to work through what was really blocking you in this love connection and admit to yourself that maybe it was more so about you than you wanted to initially admit. Sometimes when we are fearful of change or things that ask a lot of us, we will look around, survey the environment, and see if there is a circumstantial or an environmental situation that can justify us not having to take that risk or not having to do that thing. And maybe sometimes that's in a protective way, but I challenge you to, be able to write a good book at the end of your life. You know what I mean? Like, have some stories. You want to tell everybody about how you watched like Sopranos 18 times through? No. You got to get out there and live. So this King of Wands, I do feel like they do that. But there's something here about you. You offer this like anchor in a positive way. You ground them. You help them feel safe or secure. But it's like there's, what's that word? There's slack on the rope. You let them feel free, right? You're not going to like try to like tell them exactly how to live their life. We've got the Star in the reverse and the Eight of Pentacles. Someone who feels like they've done what they can to try to live by other people's rules, but feels like there's a part of them that they can't really express or be. It could be because you feel like you are obligated in some way to the family or this group of people. With the Eight of Pentacles, it would suggest that there is a work tie, or maybe even like you're feeling like you have to do something in order to get an inheritance. So we got the Six of Pentacles, which could refer to an inheritance, and the King of Cups, which I feel is parental energy. So what would everybody else think? Maybe I would lose my inheritance. Maybe I would lose my job. I don't feel like I can really be me. I look for little ways to rebel, but like marrying somebody that isn't approved by the family, this is like a whole different ballgame. Hello, Spoons. How are you doing? Hello, Vichitata. What's happening? Nine of Pentacles. And the Knight of Swords. See, the thing is this person tried to go back to being like happy-go-lucky, single, nobody can claim me. But the problem is I feel like they used your name when they shouldn't have, or they sleepily, like sleep talked about you or something. Because this Knight of Swords, for me, it's like there's something that is said by the King of Wands that makes it clear they're missing you, or that what they really want is to be with you. Maybe it's, I am totally still, a single person living the single life, but after they encounter you, they're actually not going on dates, or they turn down people that normally they would have been spending time with. There's evidentiary support that this person actually fell in love with you that other people are beginning to pick up on. Page of Swords, Four of Swords, Ten of Cups. I'm telling you, I feel like other people are like, hey, like you can pretend all you want, but you're hanging out in your room listening to sad songs all the time and drawing your name, plus this person from your past. Like there's something here where people are like, we're not stupid. We can tell you're heartbroken. We can tell you miss that person. Are you going to be like honest about it? Are you going to do something about it? This might just be a best friend or somebody who's like, hey, you can tell me. But I do think somebody is aware that the King of Wands has actually fallen in love. Maybe they figure it out before the King of Wands does. Ten of Wands in the reverse. Devil in the reverse. And the Five of Pentacles. No contact energy. It's become burdensome. People are recognizing that this King of Wands has lost some of their like bubbly energy or that fiery energy. There's something that's preoccupied this King of Wands. And I think slowly but surely people are maybe starting to guess that it's you or somebody that they have dealt with. Because the Devil in the reverse is clarifying the Nine of Pentacles. This is like somebody who's single, but like hermiting, right? Like, yeah, I could be out there playing the field, but I don't want to. I'm going to hang out and listen to my mixtape. All right, let's see. This is the Fairy Godmother Oracle. Hello, Thor. How are you doing? Uh-oh. What else do we have? Rejection. Wisdom and magic. Why do I feel like there's a cool uncle or like grandma or something like that that sits this King of Wands down, says, hey, like, let's just talk about it for a second, because I feel like you're about to make the biggest mistake of your life. And if I could help you avoid that, I would like to do that. This is like I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to pretend that I agree with everybody else. I'm going to give it to you like straight, and here's where you're messing up. Maybe they've gone through a painful experience in the past themselves. Maybe they don't give a flying what other people think. All I know is they're coming out as wisdom, and I like them. They're reminding the King of Wands of the magic they possess. King of Wands, that's definitely a magical person. They literally have a wand. Come on. Magical person who's able to live a very special life, but they are in some way held back by the expectations of probably their family. Could be work related or friends, but this is really coming through. For the majority of you, this would be family. So some kind soul, possibly from the same family, is like, hey, King of Wands, don't forget, you are fire. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't have what you want. So it reminds this King of Wands that maybe they need to look at things with a fresh set of eyes, or really challenge themselves on what decision they want to make. We've got the Four of Swords clarified by the Four of Swords in the reverse. Someone feeling lonely and feeling like maybe they've made the wrong choice. Maybe I need to reach back out to that person that I haven't spoken to and tell them what's been going on. Because when I think about who makes me happy, or when I was the happiest, it was with that person. Hello, Co-Create. How you doing? Yep. Queen of Pentacles. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Nine of Wands. Ten of Swords in the reverse. They see you as the Queen of Pentacles. So the King of Wands is in love with the Queen of Pentacles. Doesn't matter what your gender is. What they see most prominently with you is you are reliable. You are there. You have their back. You're not going to have bad intentions towards them, but that they have upset you. I know I let you down. I know you were expecting me to do right by you, or I know you could tell that I loved you and I still went and did what I did. So you're probably in this wounded warrior energy, a little defensive, not really excited to talk to me. And I don't blame you, Queen of Pentacles. I was kind of a jerk. But I'm coming back around to apologize and tell you that I've learned that how I treated this connection was horrible. They want to make things right. Ten of Swords in the reverse. I don't want it to be over and I want to make it right. Please, can we talk? Six of Swords in the reverse. Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So whoever resonates with this Queen of Pentacles energy, they're presented with this text message or phone call, or maybe this person just shows up. And I do think that you feel this person is genuine, but with the Seven of Cups, I think you have to challenge yourself to take a step back and ask, is this what I really want to deal with right now? Is this person approaching with different energy? Leveraging that discernment before you actually get too far down the path with this person, because they have demonstrated to you before that they're willing to leave you hanging or ghost you or lie to you. So we've got the Three of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So I feel like the King of Wands is like, how do I make sure that this Queen of Pentacles knows that I'm serious? That I'm not just going to disappear again. I know. I'll commit right away. Hey, I know it's been a long time. I've been spending a lot of that time thinking about you and how things went down. And I apologize for how I handled things. I needed to understand better how to communicate my own feelings or express what I feel for you. And I think it scared me a little bit, but I'm not scared anymore. And that's why I'm going to propose to you or say that we should live together or let you know that I've moved into the same town where you are. This is somebody who's like, I've got to make something tangible, some significant change that is concrete to show this person that it's not just words. It's not just daydream, So what can I do to make it real? We've got the Star, Five of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. I've got to show the Queen of Pentacles that I'm following my intuition. I'm not stuck in the past anymore, and I make my own decisions now. Nine of Pentacles. I'm not going to let my family choose who I'm with. That's what they feel like they have to prove, right? Hello, Jasmina. How are you doing? What else? I think we need the situations deck. Magnetic, irresistible pull. Done. Lesson learned. You have basically been the heavy-duty chain that enables a car to get dragged out of the mud where it was stuck forever, okay? You were enough of a carrot to get this person to chase you, right? To get them to acknowledge, oh, I've actually been doing the same thing or letting other people run my life for me. And you're like, hey, let's get out of here. Let's go live your life the way you want to, instead of always having to explain to these people why you're not going to do it the way they want you to. And this King of Wands is finally like, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. I don't care if I don't get the inheritance. I don't care if, Aunt Sally's going to stop talking to me. The people who care about me, they'll remain in contact with me. They'll want me to be happy. So if I feel the happiest when I'm with you, why would I deny myself that? This is a shift from obligation to the family to obligation to one's self. They're not saying you're my obligation. Maybe they will at some point. They're saying, I don't owe my life to these people. I owe it to me. What do I want to do? What would make me happy? Let's do that. I'm going to go get a milkshake and some fries. And that's going to be my dinner. Lost and lockbox. So this King of Wands is cutting off somebody else. They have been no contact with you, or they have been at least very low contact with you. And they're acknowledging that they have felt stuck, or they haven't felt like they could live life the way they want because of this family connection. And that's who they're cutting off now. Now they're like, I'm out. I'm going to go be with the person that I love. What else do we have? Yeah. This got family all over it. Energy from the family that wants to control how you live your life, cares maybe a little bit too much about the reputation and your impact to it. This King of Wands is saying, I've had enough. I'm not going to live my life the way that you deem appropriate because I feel like your rules are kind of BS. So suck it. This is the Love Oracle. What else do we have? One day, someday, somewhere, another time. The King of Wands felt a while back that this was a mountain too tall to climb because they did not know how they could negotiate this with their family. Again, a reference to family. Maybe someday I'll find somebody that they accept and then I can be happy with that person. Maybe someday circumstances will change and I can be with the Queen of Pentacles that I've fallen in love with. But I guess it's just like too difficult now. Hands up in the air. Okay. Which is not very King of Wands, right? King of Wands goes after what they want, but they know that whoever this family is, they have ways of figuring out what's going on, what kind of decisions they've been making, and whether or not they align with the expectations of them. So if I had to keep this love a secret, or if I had to not let you know that you're not approved by my family, then that probably makes things a little bit tense in this connection, right? So the King of Wands starts to think about whether or not there's a way to not have this fracture or this tension with the family and still be with this Queen of Pentacles that they're in love with. And I think they come to the conclusion that that's just not a possibility. There's too many problems that could arise from that. And so they've been in a pretty indecisive era, maybe for a couple weeks, trying to think through all the pros and cons. Should I do this? Should I do that? Whose life is it anyways, right? Time and sorrow. They hated waiting. I do think that they appreciate Four of Swords. I need some time. I need to think about things. I need to like prioritize. But looking back, now that they've made the decision, it's like, I've lost so much time with the person that I love. I could have been happy and spending time with them, but instead I listened to other people's opinions. They feel really upset about having sacrificed this connection for such a reason, you know? They're worried that the Queen of Pentacles now has pretty difficult boundaries. If I come back around, are you really going to talk to me? This could be a twin flame situation. There's definitely been some mirroring. I think you showed this person who they are or who they could be. And it's because of who you are. Like, you are a very unique person. You were able to activate this King of Wands. You were able to tell them some truths that they had been trying to deny. And you might do much better at expressing emotion in them. And that could be a big part of it with the divine feminine coming through. It does not mean that you're a female. It means you get emotions. It means you have that gravitational pull. And we already know that because you are pulling this King of Wands out of their shell, or, you know, out of disillusionment. But there had to be this rejection first. There had to be this like separation for them to fully appreciate. I didn't know what I had until you were gone. Experiencing that love and then trying to live without it taught me what I needed to do or that I needed to change my approach. This is the Rider-Waite. Hello, Justin. How are you doing? Six of Swords in the reverse. Magician in the reverse. And Strength in the reverse. Yeah, this is that I can't do anything. My hands are tied. You know, I was told I can't be with someone like you, or I was told that, you know, my family doesn't like you, or you're too whatever, right? Sorry, nothing I can do. Really? Really, King of Wands? Because the King of Wands that I know, they fight battles. They're not afraid of them. They don't run away. This King of Wands had to be reminded who they are, and I feel like you're the person that reminded them that they are made of fire. Real strong temptation to make some sort of like Game of Thrones reference here. Like, it was a song of fire and ice. And that's what activated this King of Wands to remember what they were supposed to be doing with their life. This is somebody who is asleep at the wheel. They were just kind of like going through the motions. You woke them up. You reminded them that, hey, maybe you should like have a little bit more control over your own life. So they're no longer just like coasting through life, feeling kind of bored or discontent. They now see that there's a way for them to really enjoy life, but it's difficult for them to see that without you by their side. So they've been dealing with this emotional struggle, this how can I be more emotionally available? I feel like that's why we had this wise person enter the equation, someone who gave some good advice and advised them that their old approach was pretty manipulative or like lame. Like if there was a video montage for this situation, it would be like quips back and forth between the King of Wands and somebody who is like making fun of them, like Hitch, right? Teaching somebody how to date, like, you fool. Why would you say that? No. Try it like this. Seven of Wands and the Hanged Man in the reverse. I feel like this is somebody guiding the King of Wands. Let's relearn this because you learned it the wrong way. They struggled to change their perception for so long because they were taught this or because they were surrounded by this energy that wasn't very mature as far as emotions or relationships. But they acknowledged it. The Page of Cups to me is like realizing there was some naivete, realizing I had been like a little bit foolish, or maybe I need to like grow up a little bit. I was relying on things that I shouldn't have to justify behavior that I probably shouldn't have been doing. This is somebody growing up, someone accepting I lived that way a little bit longer than I should have. Seven of Swords. I didn't want to be honest with myself that I could choose to do things differently, or that I could, grow up, or that I could be happy if I did things this way. So they're taking action on the things that blocked them in the past, the Chariot in the reverse. And I feel like they've got help. They've got guidance from someone. And it's a good person. I feel like they know what they're talking about. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. What else do we have? The Pack, number 38, inner work, community, deep connections, celebration, and soul tribe. So I know that maybe I was a little bit challenged with regards to talking through my emotions or appreciating those emotions. But now I've done the inner work. Now I've looked at the things that made me act the way that I did or feel the way that I felt. But because I dealt with someone like you kind of helped me realize that I needed to change that. They see you as this visionary, somebody who has a fresh way of thinking. You do things your own way. The reference in my mind is somebody who dresses exactly the way that they want with no regard for how people view that. It's impressive. So unfortunately, though, the family viewed you, the Queen of Pentacles, as somebody that would like ruin what they had tried to create with this queen or the King of Wands energy, right? Do as I say, right? Hard work, diligence, progress, challenges, and adversity. But even though this King of Wands has been surrounded by low vibration energy or been taught some not so great habits, this is somebody who has reformed. This is somebody who has learned a different approach or is excited to tell you that they don't view things the same way anymore. They're nervous because they don't know if you're going to actually like give them the time of day. All right, this is the hidden truth. Is it buffering? What's up, dude? How are you doing? So we've got, I am recovering. We just used that word, didn't we? Well, progress, maybe. I might have said recovering, though. I want to start over. I compare others to you. Your intellect arouses me. I find you so attractive. And I'm waiting patiently. So they're looking for the right time to approach you and have this conversation and let you know that they're serious. They're not going to let their family dictate who they see or how they live their life anymore. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Doodles.